What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Last Good Podcast. My name is Nick, and I'm here with Los Juanos.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Guys, today we have a very special episode. We have our very first guest on the show. This guest is a good friend of Los Juanos, so I'll let Juan introduce him.
All right, we got a good friend of mine here, Luke Ladlee. He's a lead singer for Nora Stone and a avid gamer. So, Luke, why don't you just give a little background, little base notes here on yourself.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be on, by the way. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Juan, for having me on.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
Yeah, pretty much, like, for me, man, my life is pretty much I run in two entities. So on one entity, you know, I'm the singer and frontman of the band Nora Stone. And on the other one, I am just a hardcore avid gamer for years and years and years. So it's actually kind of cool to be on this podcast and talk games like this. I've known Juan for, going on 13 years, I think it is.
Yeah,
it was
I'd say
2007 in the restaurant industry. And we worked together for a really long time. And along that time, we talked a lot about video games and basically just our passion for those. And I was actually in the games industry for like a tiny little bit of time. For about a year and a half there, I was a reviewer. And I did freelance work for this video game site out of the UK. Remember, it's called Brash Games.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh,
yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of work there on the industry side, and that was actually really awesome. I just wish that the option for money was available with that. Otherwise, I'd probably still be doing that.
And you had a gig at GameStop for a little bit, right? Or am I wrong?
I didn't have a gig at GameStop. I just knew everybody so well that I could have put a name patch on my T-shirt, and they would have probably given me a paycheck. I was there like every single day, but yeah, I did a little bit of that, and then I actually left Brash Games in about 2017, and I got hired to work at another gaming site. This is wild. I don't know if you know this one, but they're called Gaming Trend, and they're actually like kind of an up-and-coming site. And some of their reviews you'll see on the back of box art and stuff. And they were actually going to have me go out to Ubisoft is going to send us out to California to do a hands-on impression for. It would have been Assassin's Creed Origins, but I had to turn it down because I just started my new job at. I started a state job here at the county here in New York.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So going back, you said 2007 you had the gig in the UK? Or working with the UK?
I think it was 2015 I started working for that site, Brash Games. And they kind of crumbled in on themselves. There's a lot of controversy with the editor there. And it was about time where I was like, all right, this site isn't doing too well. So I started to look to freelance write and review for other sites, and then that's when Gaming Trend had an opportunity, and I actually sent some of my stuff in of other reviews I had, and they got back to me, and I was going to be a part of that team. It was just the timing didn't work out at the time.
Wow.
It's funny because I'm
an avid gamer.
No, it's funny because you mentioned like now probably like in the current state, like 2020, like gaming so like popular and it's so like it's just such a big thing, right? I think you probably would, like, if you had the job now, like you probably would be getting paid for it. I'm not saying anything crazy, but like I think definitely now versus like 2015 that the game's changed in gaming.
Yeah. I mean, if it was weird, it was like if the stars aligned in the perfect way. I mean, who knows? That could have been something we go, but it definitely didn't stop my love for games. I mean, especially now. I mean, we're like on the cusp of a new generation, so everything is new and exciting. You're constantly refreshing all your feeds to find out whatever updates you can. So. Like for gamers, this is like a super, super exciting time because what's happening now is going to basically define the next, 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. And I think like with the whole COVID and stuff, everyone's just like, I see every day I see like a new person streaming that I'm like a friend or something, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, like now it's just becoming more mainstream to stream, to upload YouTube videos, to anything, you know what I mean? Even put like, if you won a game of Warzone or like you won a game or something, I always see it on my Instagram feed. So it's cool. Everyone's sharing video games and the love for it.
It's pretty crazy how things are getting, like this right now is probably a high point for video games because video games have never been more social than they are now.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
You have like developers reaching out to people, tweeting back, retweeting and all this stuff. And like, you've never seen this. You didn't see this 5 years ago.
No. And it's like, you have more eyes on screens now, because there's so many things closed down with lockdown and places that are still in different phases. And, all the wildness is there's more people looking at their phones, looking at their TVs, engaging with consoles and finding stuff to do inside. So this is like such a great time, to really start to push the industry.
Yeah, definitely with the social aspect of it. Because like when I was a kid, my parents were like, "Yo, why are you playing video games? Like, there's no social aspect because you're playing on like a Game Boy, I don't know, N64 or something where it's not on the internet and you can't really interact with others." Now you could hook up with a bunch, like 10 people in a Discord server and all talk. You know what I mean? Or you could be an Xbox Live party and be just as social as you would at like a party or a bar or wherever, a friend's house.
Dude, it's crazy. Like for me, I would rather watch a streamer play a brand new game and take their like insight to it than read most publications nowadays. Because at least I'm looking at the video game, I'm watching somebody play, I'm getting their impressions. Like that's the one cool thing about streaming and it's nothing against these gaming outlets, but it's like it's harder to be subjective when you're actually watching the game compared to you just reading somebody's insight to it on paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I know you said you had a few friends that worked at GameStop. So I've been reading lately that like a lot of them are closing, like they're going out of business. Obviously everything's going to like going to be digital, a lot of digital games and just downloads. What's your thoughts on that, Luke?
Personally, I mean, like I always liked going there. But not really so much for the physical games, but lately it was for picking up consoles. Because I do miss like on a big launch going there at midnight, you know what I'm saying, and getting console in hand. And I think we've done a couple midnight launches together. You know
you're the reason why I've done that.
Yeah, because like it was fun. It was almost an aura to it, but you also have to recognize the tide is changing, and even for me, I mean, this generation was the generation where I really kind of went all digital. Like upcoming with the PS5, I'll probably be buying the discless version, just because it's so much easier. And to be honest, it's, it does technically save a lot of money for these devs because they're not doing physical, manufacturing for these things. And it just makes it a little bit easier. I don't think it's going to help drive down the price of video games because I remember that was a thing. It was like, oh, well, if they stop doing physical and go all digital, maybe the games will be cheaper. We're seeing that that's not going to be true because now 2K, the 2K series already announced they're going to be $70 a game for next gen. But I just think the ease of access is a lot. I mean, if you have the internet and you have the storage to do it on your console, I kind of am with the whole digital aspect,
Well, I'd say the same thing because even the games nowadays, like either way, they have to be installed to your console. So it didn't matter if you got a disc or not. You still needed to back it all up onto that for it to run and work. So
your disc this gen was basically just it was a physical manifestation of a digital code. Because the game wasn't really on there. You put it in, and then it was like, okay, let's start the download process. I mean, if I was personally GameStop, what I would be looking to do is, if you're seeing that, the tide is changing, I would be looking to almost create a digital storefront that is available on consoles. And the way you compete is what your pre-order bonuses would be. Hey, you could download it from the Microsoft Store and get this, or you could download it from the GameStop app on the Microsoft, on the Xbox and get this, and this as a download, or maybe they look into options like that.
Yeah,
well, there's like sorry.
No, you go one.
There's this website that we use when we game on our PCs called cdkeys.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you buy games at like it's crazy discounts. I mean, they can be old games. New games, really, it's not a big of a discount, but they could do something like that where you just go and you buy the CD key and then you download it from whatever platform, your Xbox or Epic Games or whatever the downloader might be.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's got to be the route they go. I mean, I don't know what the number was, but I know it was like over 400 stores closed nationwide.
They started selling merch. They started selling like pops. They started selling like anime stuff. They started like trying to branch out a little bit to, I guess, save their store. But like you said, it's like the blockbusters, the Hollywood videos, for those of you guys know about that, DVDs and everything is just out of business. You know what I mean? It's just what it's come to. It's sad, but
it is sad because it's like
memorabilia, like that hard copy, like I don't know, open up the wrapper on a brand new game is different.
It is like I didn't really, like I said, this gen I didn't really head out too much, but I still count on them for like the major console releases because there's just something about that nostalgia feel. So it would be a shame if they all shut down altogether, but if they're smart and they can innovate, they could still be a factor, going forward. But who knows? You say that about like software, etc., and EB Games and stuff like that, so you never know.
So Luke, Was there a part? So I see you have like a knowledge of gaming. Was there a part or a time in your life that like, or like what got you into gaming? Was it from when you were little? Was it like what like gave you that love for video games and playing games and everything like that?
Pretty much like ever since I can remember, like my older brothers and my cousins, like starting out bare bones with the NES, you know, and then going up to we got a Sega Genesis the next thing, and watching them play, and then us getting hands on, and you know, just playing every console growing up through the 90s and stuff pretty much cemented my love for it, you know. And we're a part of, I don't know how old you are, Nick, but like for me and Juan, like in that age group, like we're a part of a cool generation where we're like the last ones that are going to be able to remember growing up with Nintendo all the way up to what we have now. So you almost, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool because you talk to some kids now and I'm like, they're like, oh, what's your first console? Like PS2. I'm like, oh my God, man, I'm going to be collecting a social security check soon. Like, I feel so old. Like when I'm like, oh my, that's your first console. Like, so it's kind of cool because you got to literally watch the evolution of the home console. So, it pretty much started then, and now looking at the stuff we're doing now, oh my God, you know, it's exciting.
It's funny because I have brothers that are like Juan's age. I'm pretty sure you're the same age as Juan, but like I have brothers that age, so I got like kind of the best of both worlds. Where I got like my first console I bought from GameStop. Funny enough, it was the N64, but it was like $20. Like I saved up, I did like chores and whatnot, you know, save up and you bought it. But I did grow up playing all those games just because I had older brothers, so they had every console, so I did get a chance to play, you know, the Pokemon Stadiums, the Zeldas, and all those cool games. You know, back in the day. So I got best of both worlds. So I'm kind of happy.
That's like, you know, what's funny is at now.
Yeah, what's funny about that now is you try to buy an N64 or original PlayStation or anything like that, they're hundreds of dollars again. They're like over $100 easy. I wouldn't say more than 300 maybe, unless they're like really pristine. But like the prices on those have gone back up now again.
Yeah, dude, I was literally thinking about buying an N64 a few weeks back, and I went on eBay and I saw them going for like 150 to 200. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. But like, it was like, I was like, damn, I remember you used to go to see this thing at a yard sale for like $15 and you could get it with like an old sweater or something, you know, like, and now like, it's like, what do you want from this? No way, man. That's my car payment.
Now they're just selling them for X amount of money.
Yeah, because it's at the peak. But yeah, it's pretty much going back through those days, man. They got me. That's kind of like what really like established it. Because I remember like my biggest like first game where I went crazy on was Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Genesis. Like we would play that for hours and hours and hours and try and do the anime, friendships, the babalities, the fatalities, all that stuff. And it's kind of cool to look back. And well, even if you look at Mortal Kombat 11 that came out last year, and you look at this, and you're like, oh my God, how much further can we go?
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is so Luke, you love getting platinums and 100% achievements. And now that you're talking about Mortal Kombat, you do have that tattoo to yourself because you love that game so much.
And I also got the platinum. Yeah. I got the Elder God platinum.
Wait, we're talking like a legit tattoo, right?
Oh yeah, it hurt horribly. It was right on my ribcage.
Oh, nice.
So for anybody that knows me, like I'm pretty much covered. Like my chest is done, my arms are done, my legs are done, both sides of my ribs. But the one side of my ribs I dedicated to video games. So I have my Zelda tattoo. I have Link from the Minish Cap from Game Boy Advance. I have a huge Mortal Kombat, the dragon logo, but I had him do it with like ice inside of it, so it kind of looks like Sub-Zero. My wife, actually, she has a whole Kingdom Hearts leg sleeve tattoo that's going too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, great. So we're definitely avid gamers here. We take the needle to the skin for it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I did not know. Yeah, to have tattoos and devote that to, you know, put a mark on your skin for that, that's pretty cool. Wow.
That's how you know Luke is hardcore when it comes to this stuff.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting my own fatality after 3 hours of this thing.
Yeah.
Luke, I remember for a while you were fighting there against your wife's brother to get most plats and everything. And how'd that end up? I remember you passing him or very close to.
Can you guys explain like what the platinum means? Like what to those who don't know?
Oh, Luke could explain it because he has so many.
So basically, like the platinum and the 100% or the 1000G, as we say for short for Xbox, that's like the pinnacle, right there. That's like when you get a game when that's achieving every single trophy / achievement in the game, you max it out, you own that. When you take that game out, that game has to hold your hand now because you own that thing. That's what it is. That's owning that baby. So that was like my goal for a while. And yeah, when me and Juan were working together about that was probably like 10 years now, 10 years back, right? When we were in the kitchen, my whole goal was my wife's brother was like had a crazy high gamer score. It was on 360. He was like near 70,000. And I remember at the time I had just like hit like 10. I was like, yo, I could beat that score. So I just went on this like crazy internal quest. He didn't even know. It was just a me thing. Like I didn't even tell him. Like he'd like we'd be like going over to visit on Sundays and he'd be like, thinking Arizona in the back of my mind, like, 10 fucking score. Oh yeah. So I was hunting down, and I eventually ended up surpassing him. I remember he didn't even know it was a thing. I sent the picture. I was like, look at me now.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got over 100,000 gamer score now. I'm trying to get my PlayStation trophies up. I got the plats. I wish I had more. I have only 11 plats right now, but I'm about to hit 3,000 trophies. So I think that was one of the big reasons I may make PS5 my main console, and then I'm going to try and boost that trophy score for next gen.
So that's the console you're going with, the PS5?
I'm going with both because I have to. Because like, there's such things that will pull me in from both ecosystems. I can't. There's no way I'm going to go into a next gen and not play a new Halo or not play new Gears, or do something like that. And then on the other hand, the first party lineup from Sony is just undeniably strong. You know what I'm saying? It's so varied that you can't deny that either. So I'm definitely going to go day one with both consoles again.
So now, out of curiosity, going backpedaling here a little bit to your reviewer days, have you ever thought of doing that again? Because you're kind of a completionist with these games.
Dude, I really would like to do it again. It's kind of like during the time that I was doing that, I was in the middle of two bands. I was in a band called Visits, and I was still in Northstone. I was managing the restaurant. I was planning my wedding, and I was reviewing video games. And at the time, I was like, all right, one of these, something's going to have to give. And, unfortunately it was that. But with everything going on now and kind of how I have a little bit more free time, especially because I'm not in the restaurant industry anymore, I really have thought about doing it again. It was kind of fun. Like, sometimes it'd get a little stressful because you'd get your key and you'd have to have that game beaten and reviewed by embargo. So sometimes that window is like really small because you wouldn't get your code until maybe 3 days before the game comes out. Like I remember Fallout 4, I had to do the review for Fallout 4 in 72 hours. I had to start that game, finish that game, and write a 1,800 word review. And it was tough. Like I lived and breathed Fallout 4. I actually called out of the restaurant as a sick day so I could take an extra day. Wow. And I was doing power sessions with that game, but I do miss it, man. It is really cool. It's just, you kind of feel like you're on the ground floor of things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no greater, like, if you're going to write a review, there's no greater person to write the review than someone who's completed the game from start to finish and did the challenges and did everything and all the achievements. So that's pretty cool.
If you're somebody who can get that key in like 2 weeks before a game comes out and really get to like explore it and own it and say, okay, what's going on with this, and play around with it, you're going to get, that's really cool. And it leads for the best review too,
Yeah. Have you thought about doing like a YouTube channel maybe on like gaming reviews and stuff? Like
I've definitely thought about it. The closest I got was with Mixer, and I streamed a couple times with Mixer. But I got to give, all these streamers a lot of credit, man. It's a lot of work. That's a job that really doesn't sleep. It's constantly growing your fan base. It's constantly engaging. It's constantly making yourself available to your viewers and stuff. So I don't know if I would do a streaming thing, but maybe a YouTube video thing down the line would be pretty cool.
YouTube's a little easier on the mind because streaming, whatever your personality is, it has to be there on point 100% for 3 to 8 hours. Yeah.
So if you're funny, you got to be funny. If you're, whatever you are, you have to do that. And then like off stream, you have to market your brand like anything. So it's a lot of work that goes into streaming. It's definitely not easy.
Juan, you made a good point. I think you tweeted this out like last week or something. Like when Mixer got acquired by Facebook, that's really going to kind of hurt the streaming community a little bit because you're basically going to need like an Elgato now, and you're going to need a setup to actually do this. It's not going to be as easy as hitting a button. Hey, let's go live. Everything's right here on the console, and it kind of does narrow down the growth of that community just a little bit. And I don't know, Mixer may have just been a right product, wrong time type of deal, but it is kind of sad to see it go because that was a big community.
Yeah, I'm surprised because they literally just got Ninja signed on not long ago, and
Shroud too, right?
Yeah, they got Shroud.
Yeah. And
it's crazy. They had that, like you said, that in that console where you just one click of a button and you're live, and you could even hook up a webcam to your like Xbox, and then you have a little setup. So
USB webcam, you're ready to rock and roll, man. Like that was you were ready to go. So it is kind of interesting. They invested so many resources into it. It was kind of, I'm wondering. They have their event now in the end of July, and I really do. They're gonna address that somehow. Or did you really just wipe your hands of Mixer after a few years and putting all that resource and time into it, or is there going to be some sort of announcement to kind of clap back at that in July? And maybe there is, the chapter isn't closed completely on Xbox streaming, but I don't know. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised they just closed the gates and didn't partner up with someone else.
Yeah, weird. And there's such big payouts to Ninja and Shroud. I think Ninja had to get a $30 million payout. I think Shroud took home 10 or 11 million.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on those numbers, but I know they got a good payout to, have them leave.
And even without the payout, they just alone getting whatever they got. But besides that, they're free to do whatever they want to do. Like they don't have to stream on Mixer. They don't have to stream on anything. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That alone is priceless. So
definitely.
That's like last week or so. For this past week, there's been hype that this new platform called Brime is something that Shroud, Ninja, and Dr. Disrespect are all going towards or creating because Dr. Disrespect just got perma-banned from Twitch.
They're saying the perma-ban is because of that. They said that Twitch may have found out about Dr. Disrespect doing this, so they perma-banned him. Like, ain't gonna be that easy, buddy.
No.
So Luke, you do music, right?
Yes.
Have you seen any correlation between music and video games? Has it like helped you in your music works?
There's definitely it's the creativity. It's definitely. I absolutely believe music and video games are an art form. Like video games may have just been something in the past that was an entertainment thing, but I think with newer games, you're starting to see it's an art form like music. And yeah, it's definitely inspired. Like there's certain verbiage from words and thematic elements of games you'll play, and you'll get ideas of, like I said, themes or vocabulary or verbiage you're using. I'll maybe get inspired to use that type of thing and lyrics in a song. It's definitely happened before.
And one thing is like I know you like playing like indie games too. You don't play just the mainstream stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, so I've never been really into indie games, but I hear like the music behind those are like really impactful in the story. So I'm assuming something like that can kind of reflect back to your personal life in the sense that like maybe one of these songs you hear in a game might inspire you to do something else in one of your songs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's actually a really good point about the music in indie games. Like, I feel like you find a lot of really good gems in them, man. Even if it's just that like almost synthesizer NES type of 8-bit tones, they do really good work with that stuff. Because a lot of times it's either them doing it or they're outsourcing it to somebody else who's a small and up and coming person. And that's when you're going to hear something really unique and different. So yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, it's funny. I follow this guy on Instagram. He had a song, right? And I was like, this song's pretty catchy. I like this song. And then later on, like probably a year later, he put a post up like, oh, FIFA hit me up and they want to use my song in the new FIFA game coming out. So that guy who had like 20,000 followers or whatever he was like a small time music dude. Now he has a song in FIFA, like one of the biggest games. And it's just cool seeing like me recognizing that song for being good and then now seeing it in FIFA. And now everybody who plays FIFA could, acknowledge it and appreciate it. See,
that's like amazing too. And people don't realize that that'll blow a band up. There's like a lot of bands, like, I mean, if you go back to the 90s and you look at what Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 did for a lot of those bands and that genre of music, it really lit a flame under it. You know, like that was, for a lot of people, that was the first time they heard bands like AFI, bands like Anthrax. You know what I'm saying? Like Public Enemy. Like there's a lot of different things that music can really help bands. I would love to put a track into a game. Madden does it a lot too. They'll take a band that's up and coming, they'll put it in the background, you know. A lot of these EA Sports games.
The Need for Speeds and all that. All those games had great soundtracks.
Yep, another EA game. Yep.
Yeah, that could turn someone's career around in like a heartbeat. You get on a big game.
Well, and it's crazy because I was listening, like Tony Hawk, they're doing the remaster and re-releases and all that now, and they have to renew those contracts for those games if they want those specific songs that were already on there. They have to renew the contracts and pay out again on that. You
gotta get the license from the artists.
Yeah, it's crazy how like much goes into remastering a game. Like,
yeah, I just actually pre-ordered that on PlayStation a couple nights ago because I was like thinking about which console I wanted to do it on. So I went with PlayStation because I just the control, you know, the feel of the DualShock for it. I was like, all right, I think that's going to be the way I want to go. That's going to be an awesome game. For $40 to get both of those remastered, you cannot beat that.
Yeah, it's really not a bad deal.
No, not at all.
Are you playing any games now, Luke?
Right now, I just finished up The Last of Us 2. I finished that up, and then PlayStation was having a sale, so I went and I bought Life is Strange. They had the whole collection. I bought Doom 64 because I don't remember playing it as a kid, and they had it on the PSN. And then I rebought Dead Rising 4 with all the DLC. So I dropped some money, and then I pre-ordered that. I'm always playing something. Like there's never going to be a time where I'm playing anything, whether it's on my Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation. I'm always playing something. Those three I'm dabbling in right now, but I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima. I believe it's next Friday. Oh man, I cannot wait.
I've been checking that out a lot. It aesthetically, it looks really nice from all the trailers.
I got a lot of faith because it's Sucker Punch, and I love the Infamous games. And those games, man, that dev, what they do is they have a really awesome talent of making you and your character feel super strong, super heroic. I mean, that's basically what Infamous was. They were superhero games. So I'm actually super excited to see them do this aesthetic and go into, you know, like feudal Japan type of era. I think it's going to be really, really good.
Now, do you play PC at all?
I have such a horrible experience with PC. Like, I want to love PC. I really do. I really do. And a couple years ago, I bought a pre-built, which was probably my first downfall. I bought a pre-built gaming PC from Best Buy. It was, I think it was called CyberPower was the name. I know it wasn't anything crazy, but it was VR ready. And at the time, HTC Vive was kind of popping off again. And I was like, all right, let me get this, something that's able to at least run VR, a competent, gaming PC. I think it had a 1070 in it. It wasn't a 1070 Ti, but it had a 1070. So I was like, okay, this should be enough to get me going. I got the computer home, and within the first week, the hard drive stopped working. It was making these weird noises, stopped working. I had them return it, got another PC, same one. I had that one about 3 months. I moved to a new apartment, fired it up for the first time. The screen wouldn't come on because the video card went bad. So I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, no.
I just have horrible luck with this. I had my one brother-in-law who's really good with PCs come and look at it. He couldn't figure it out. We tried. I took out the RAM, bought new RAM, plugged that in. That still didn't get the video going. I was trying all these different methods. So I ended up selling it to a guy at work. I said, listen, I have a PC. It's brand new. If you want to use it for parts, you could sell it. So I ended up selling it to him, and I kind of closed that chapter for now.
Yeah. Wow.
I should have hit you up, Juan, to build a PC because that's like your forte.
Yeah, I mean, been gaming on PC for a long time now.
I know. I'm jealous because you have Tarkov. I don't have anything like that.
Oh, man, you can come by and try it out, you know.
I know. Well, the rumor is it may come to console this gen. Now, I don't know if it's true, but they were saying they may try it out on console. Maybe do like a preview version of it or something.
I was hearing that they're going to make it a little more unforgiving, which is, I don't know if that's the right way for them to go because it's a pretty unforgiving game already.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah, everybody I hear says that game is like really, really hard.
Yeah, it has like a whole weight system to it. You have to build your own guns for the most part to make them any good, at least. And then there's the gun building. Then there's the ammunition. You have to get the right ammunition. And then there's the whole armor system. Then there's the whole weight system. So certain armors make you weigh like a certain amount, and then whatever you grab in a raid will increase your weight. So then you walk slower, and it's just.
What if I have a really dope chest piece, but I need like a couple slim fast so I could still rock the chest piece and not be over my weight? Or am I going to be like Fallout over encumbered? Because that's going to be embarrassing. I show up to the battle already sweaty.
Piece. It's funny because
that's possible.
It's funny because I'll watch Juan play the game and I'm like, this game is hard. Juan's walking and then just gets headshotted and loses all the stuff he looted. And
I did not have a good morning this morning on that game.
No.
I'd be raging.
I gotta watch more vids on that, man, because I know my cousin Edwin, he plays that game like crazy. He loves that game. I gotta watch more videos on it. I just know it's really unforgiving. I've seen a couple things that looks really fun, but if they're gonna make it more unforgiving, I don't know. That's gonna be a tough break. I may end up launching a controller through a window. I don't know if I.
I'm just about there now.
So how has like COVID affected your music, like gigs and stuff like that? Have you guys put it on a halt? Are you still recording, or?
It basically kind of like it was a shock for everyone. Like it definitely ruined it. We had about 4 or 5 gigs lined up through the summer, and they were all paying. And we were looking forward to it because not only was it fun, but it was a way to make some extra cash. Obviously, they were all canceled. It actually hurt us rehearsing because all rehearsal studios were closed. You know, because it's really hard to practice social distancing and stuff like that in those environments because they're enclosed. As of about a month ago, the one studio we go to in Rockland County, they opened up. So we have been rehearsing again, and we actually are in pre-production to release a single, hopefully by the fall. We already started writing, and we actually already have studio time, like actual recording studio time booked for mid-August. So we're hoping to have a new single out and a new music video filmed and released by October. So it hurt us for about 90 days there.
Wow.
But you know, we still tried to stay busy with it, and we're just happy to be playing again right now, even in the settings we're at. But it's weird because like if you're not the singer, you have to wear a mask the whole time. Singers have to bring their own mics, backup mics. You have to use they have like the disposable mic covers that you have to use too. So It is an interesting scenario, but at least there's options out there for us to keep doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It got a little crazy there. It sucked because I had tickets to go see My Chemical Romance in September for their like reunion tour.
Yeah.
That got canceled. I had tickets for Guns N' Roses to see at MetLife this summer. That got canceled. It all got pushed out. And I still have tickets for a couple Giants games for November and December, but I don't know, man. With the way the second spike is coming, I doubt if we'll have fans in the stands for any of that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what they're saying is that a lot, for especially the sporting events and stuff like that, they want to have the show or like the game go on, but no fans. So
yeah, I with the way it's going, unless the vaccine comes out earlier or we could put a stop to it, you know, the spread a lot faster again, I don't see how you're going to be able to get 80,000 people into a stadium. You know, at least not this year.
Yeah. It's good the studios opened up again, right? That's a positive.
That was great. That was really great because there was a couple of places that we were trying to contact during all this and be like, hey, listen, is there, you know, because sometimes with rehearsal spaces, you'll have different size rooms that you can go into, you know, small, medium, large being the most expensive. And we're like, hey, we'll pay for your largest studio room, even though it's just us, you know, it's just so we could do social distancing. Is there anything available? And a lot of them were like, no, man, we can't, you know. The one producer we were going to use to record our new single, unfortunately, we couldn't go with him because he was in an area that was still on severe lockdown. He can't open till phase 4. We had to use another one. So there was definitely put a little bit of a little hold on how, you know, you attempt these things, especially if you're in the music industry.
Yeah, because I assume you also probably travel, right? So that stopped everything, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, doing anything. You know, we're usually mainly we usually play in the tri-state area, but you know, all bars, restaurants, and stuff like that, they're closed. And you know, to be honest, it's going to be a little bit before people feel comfortable again to go out to those type of things. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. I thought bars were gonna open up soon, and then like I think what happened in Florida, we saw there was a second spike, and I think it was because a lot of people were going to the bars and not wearing masks and not.
Yep.
And then now everybody's like closing bars and moving them to phase 13. I don't know. But
phase, we'll let you know when we're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw just on the news today, I saw that Florida had 10,000 new cases just yesterday.
Wow.
Just yesterday.
Wow.
Like, that is wild, man. It's scary because you see those things like where quarantine started at first and it was really scary, but everyone's getting used to it being hopeful. And then you're in this part of quarantine, you're like, oh God, I just miss being locked up and watching Tiger King. Like, I wish that was could we go back to that type of quarantine?
I think I was the only one who didn't see that.
Oh, why don't you love yourself? Yeah. When you don't watch Tiger King, it's because you don't love yourself.
I was more the like TikTok. I got started watching the TikTok videos. That's where I was at.
TikTok had a boom during this era.
TikTok popped off, man.
TikTok really did. They really had a boom.
I think Juan has a TikTok. Juan has a few TikTok videos, right, Juan?
Nah. I just downloaded TikTok the other day, and I was on it for like a whole 5 minutes just looking at shit, and then I was like, not for me.
Did the same thing. I downloaded it, immediately deleted it. I was like, nope, not going to do it. I don't know. I like watching the videos that people have because some of them are hilarious, but the whole thing, I'm like, I'm already invested in so many ecosystems. I don't know if I could do this.
All right, Luke, what you got to do, man, and this is big on TikTok. So I actually done not research on TikTok, but I just after watching it and hearing people talk about it. So pretty much from what I assume is there's a song that comes out and then that song becomes quote unquote TikTok famous. And then everybody now makes videos of that song. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to make a TikTok song that will be catchy and people can make videos to, and your song will blow up.
I have to create the best 15-second song that is absolutely possible ever. That's
there you go. There you go, man.
They say your 15 minutes of fames. No, this is 2020, baby. You got 15 seconds. That's
all you need. 15 seconds for your song to blow up.
I'm a thumb swipe away from ignoring you forever. You have 15 seconds. Make this happen.
Oh, man.
Speaking of that, what kind of information can you give someone who's trying to make a song, trying to start a band and get somewhere? Because I know you've been through it all. I remember you went down to Florida. You opened up for some crazy bands down there.
Yep. I went down to Florida. I opened up for it was like a UFC type event when we were 17. I think I was 18 or 19 when we did. That just shows you how long me and Juan have known each other. And we went down the coast. We did that. I went to Cleveland actually to record our album. A record label paid us to go to Cleveland in 2013. You want to know some funny little side story to let you know how much passion I have for both of them? We're in the studio recording. A record label has paid us to go to Cleveland to record a record, right? We're staying in the studio. It's got a theater room, our own personal bunks. Everyone the first night wants to go out and go to the bar, drink, have a good time. I stayed at home because it was the night of E3 where Sony was doing their press conference, and I didn't want to miss it. I'll never forget that. So everyone comes back. They got leftovers from the restaurant they went to. They're all a little buzzed, having a good time. I literally stayed with my iPad and watched the press conference. And I had my cousin Edwin go and pre-order my PS4 for me because I was like, I'm not going to make it back to New York in time. They're going to be sold out. But for the advice man with the band though, creating a song and stuff, I think the most important thing that I've learned, and I've been doing this for about over 15 years now, is you got to find the right people. It has to be the right people. If you don't have that sort of musical connection and that kind of that just cross of musical communication with that person, it's going to be really tough. So if you find the right people and you find something that means something to you and something that's just natural, the song's going to come out on itself. The song will come out on its own. That's the best thing I could say. The worst thing you could do is try and write the best song you're ever going to write. It'll come out when it comes out.
That makes sense because it's a process. You're growing. You learn from everything you do. Every new song you write, you're learning. So
you look back in that rearview mirror and it's like, oh man, sometimes you listen to things you did and you're like, wow, I would have did it like this now. Now that I know this, I would have used this method in the studio, or I would have tracked this guitar under this, or used this, this type of string instrument here and stuff like that. So you're always growing. So it's interesting like that.
It's funny because I think people have it. I don't want to say it's easier now, but like with the whole internet space and you have social media, like to get a hit song and get a song to that like is catchy, and I think it's a little easier than like probably back when you first started recording, where there was really the internet wasn't like as like popping as it is now. You could I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you could upload a song, and if people like it and like people are messing with it, they'll share it, and like it just kind of like wildfire just grows.
It goes like both ways. Like there's a yes and no to that for me. Like the yes is absolutely the internet is a tool that we did not have, right? And you don't need a press team, you don't need a marketing agent, you don't need anything like that. The tools are right there for you, and if you have the time and you can go out there and really do that. On the other side of that, it has made it just a little bit harder for artists, because what happens is the market is now so oversaturated because everyone can do that. So like it's like a yin and yang to it almost. It's kind of weird because it's like, all right, man, getting a demo out and getting on the internet and getting on iTunes, anyone could do that. That's great. That's awesome. But like now it's like, man, but everyone can do that. So it's like you have to really make sure you can hit that right cusp of time and the right place, right time, because back in the day it was all about playing out, and then hoping that a scout or a label or somebody who knew somebody saw you, and then they would get you that spot, and then boom, now you're onto that next pedestal. Now it's like equal playing ground, and sometimes you're cannibalizing each other. So there is two sides of it, but I would rather have it than not have it,
Yeah. I think the main thing is trying to stand out from like the norm, like what people think is good. Try to make something that's unique, and then I think that's how most people become successful. They bring something to the table that no one's heard, no one's thought of, and that's what catches. Like if you want to do something, or you want to put music out, you want to put content out, you want to do anything, make sure you're bringing something that's the next guy hasn't done.
Yep. Keep thinking outside the box, man. You know?
Like you said, everybody could do it. Everybody can make a YouTube page. Everybody could make record something. You could record a song on your iPhone. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyone could do it. Just make sure you try to bring something that's unique.
Yep. Always thinking outside the box. Like we were just talking about TikTok. You put your song 15 seconds behind it. You just blew up in a whole new way you never thought possible.
Yeah.
But
it's all about how you use the tools, I feel like, because anybody can post on SoundCloud, but it's got to be the way you bring it to the table, the way you market it yourself.
Oh yeah, and that is the name of the game, man. That is. I mean, you look at some of these people that blew up, like Post Malone. Didn't he just post something on SoundCloud? It was like SoundCloud, and then boom, just blew up.
Yeah,
it's like you get those right. I think Billie Eilish was the same thing. When she put Ocean Eyes on SoundCloud, same thing. Just blows right up out of nowhere, and it's like. That's where it's cool to at least have the ability to have the tools, because it's like you don't know, you could be that person. Your shit just hits right at the right time, the right moment, and then you're.
Yeah, and once you get that fan base, that's all you need. They'll rock with you with whatever song you put out, good, bad, whatever.
Oh, you just ask those T Swift fans. They know about sticking by. They know about sticking by someone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, those. Oh man. For another person, I don't know if you're into like the rap scene or anything, but like 6ix9ine, like that guy is like the king of the internet. Like that.
I'm still doing the math on that one.
Yeah,
dude, he's done everything in the name of everything, and he still comes back to the internet, and his fans are so loyal. Like he just puts crazy numbers on the internet. Like I think he came back to Instagram and then broke the record for like the most viewed live stream. And I was like, you've been gone for like a year, 2 years. Like, how do you just come back and like
You were sitting in jail. You let a Skittles bag melt on top of your head, and you paid a 2-year-old to draw with a big pen on your face, and somehow you were putting up numbers that no one could ever describe.
Yeah, he's breaking YouTube records. He's breaking like streaming records. I think he just got the number 1 on the billboards with one of his recent songs. So he's killing it, man. I mean, good for him.
Well, it's all about having the right fan base, man, right time. I think the same thing with his video. I think he dropped a video on YouTube and it had like 1 million views.
Yeah,
I think it was by the end of the day or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, he's that guy. He knows what we don't know. Like I need to know what he knows. He knows something about the internet that's like nobody knows.
DM be like, "Yo, I got this podcast. I'm kind of interested."
Yeah,
I think
part of it's got to be just not caring what anybody thinks about you.
That's
just
true.
doing whatever you can for that dollar.
Yep. He definitely lives up that image, man. He dives right into it. So that is crazy, man. Are you guys pumped up for because I know you guys kind of play PC a lot, but are you guys planning on going a full next gen? Both consoles and stuff.
With the amount of money I spent on my PC, I'm probably just sticking with PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that new PlayStation.
Yeah.
I know it looks like Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh, but I still like it. I love the way it looks.
Seto Kaiba. It does, though, man. I mean, that thing is definitely a Wi-Fi router on steroids, but I will give you $450 for it, no problem. I'm not even gonna.
Did they release the price or no? No, right?
No, but there's a lot of leaks. I think what they're saying is the disc unit. From what I'm seeing, is the disc unit is probably going to be about $500 to $550, and the discless is going to run from $400 to $450. It's going to be interesting, man, what Xbox does, because there are rumors, because Xbox got that big money, that they could low cut that Series X, and they're saying that they may even drop that Series X to $400. So you're getting a more powerful console. You're not getting the games quite the same, but for $400, compared to $550 for something, who knows? They may go out and really. That's what the rumors are. The rumors are that there's going to be a lot of mics dropped at the end of July with Xbox, but we'll see, because lately, I love the Emerald, man, but lately they kind of been leaving a little bit to be desired,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because whatever Microsoft does, their price wise, PlayStation has to match it or come close to it.
Yeah.
Because if not, they're just going to get blown out of the water.
And that's basically what happened last gen. Is once Xbox said $499, and that, I think it was that night, because Microsoft usually used to go in the morning with their press conference at E3. They said $399, and forget about it. It's over. $100 cheaper. You don't have to have a stupid camera with it. And even no matter what Xbox did last gen to change that message and change that tone, it stuck with them the whole way. So this is such a pivotal time for these consoles. The decision on what they do, Well,
it's crazy because everything was going so well until the whole COVID situation. And I feel like this year console prices were probably going to hike, but now they can't do that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because I feel like you're going to have really low install numbers to this new hardware if you try and sell something that's above $550. And same thing with the games, man. I was really surprised 2K went and fully revealed that all their games are going to be $70, because especially for sports games, I'm a sports fan, but it is hard to justify that every year when it's essentially a copy and paste. The only thing that changes is slight rosters and draft picks, but it's going to be interesting. But they've been calling it for years, because they said with all the new tech and how games have gotten bigger and more involved, and the dev teams are bigger, that it was only a matter of time before these games got back to the price of $70-$80. Because if you remember when we were kids, it was like that. There were Super Nintendo games that were $80, depending on the game.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, certain JRPGs used to do that and stuff. The bigger the game, the bigger sometimes the price would be. So I would not want to see $80 games again, but I could definitely understand the reasoning with it. But it's going to be tough to sell that to your consumers while essentially everybody on the globe is hurting a little bit financially.
I mean, we're basically seeing $80 games already, in the sense of they do it where you can get a little statue, the collector edition, all that stuff. But I could understand it at one part, because some of these games are getting legit actors to be in them. So
yeah, I mean, my thing is, if you're going to raise that game to $69.99, $79.99, I will pay it. But I think as a community, we as gamers need to see the elimination of microtransactions, because if you're going to raise that price of that game and then still do microtransactions along with it, it's going to be a really tough sell.
No, I think, I think Fortnite did it the best, where they had a free game, and it was if you guys want to play with these cosmetics, these cool cosmetics, you got to spend the money for it. Or you want to buy the season pass or battle pass, you got to spend the money on it. But we'll give you the game for free. Everyone can play it. You can play it on your phone, your tablet, your whatever you can play a game on. We'll throw it out on there. It's free. But then that game just blew up because all the transactions, everyone was buying the skins, everyone was buying everything.
Yeah,
so that game just blew up.
I
that was
see that.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that was like an addiction for kids. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I bought a bunch of skins. I paid way more than that game was worth.
Yeah. No, and then Warzone did it right now with Call of Duty. They came out with their battle royale. It's free play, and then, like I said, there's still microtransactions within Call of Duty where you could buy skins and gun camos and whatnot. So that's definitely a thing. Yeah, I'm down for the free games.
I like that too. Like you got to play it like. You got to play both sides. If you're going to be a live service game like that, and you know that you're going to be long-term live service, maybe you do a lower, barrier to entry price, and then you do that. But if you're like a single-player story-driven game, and you're going to raise that price to $70, I don't want to see nothing about a season pass. I don't want to see nothing about transaction. Because that's going to be a tough sell. It's going to be a really, really tough sell. But I think what you're saying about the free thing with live service games, I definitely be in the future because even Destiny 2 did it. Destiny 2 now has a free version. Yeah. And then you pay for the seasons or pay for things like that. That probably is the best way to go for a live season. A live service type game.
How do you feel about all these games that are coming out that are like Tarkov, like pay for the betas?
I don't mind it because I've done it myself. Like there was an Xbox Live preview that I did.
Yeah.
You pay $20 up front to get a little bit of an access. It just depends on what that reward's going to be when it finally hits full retail. Or also how long do you plan on being in this preview? And I guess the quality of you get it. Like if you get it and it's completely broken, I think I did that for Ark, that Ark survival game.
Okay.
I think I did it like $20, and I didn't mind it. It was somewhat playable. Game ended up being not for me, but like. So what's the entry price for Tarkov?
Tarkov, the entry I think is like $40.
Yeah, 35, 40.
All right, so you really can't beat that because that game is like kind of beloved and already has a following, and it's playable, right?
Yeah, it's definitely playable. And it's been out for years.
Yeah, so that ain't bad. I'm down with that. I mean, kind of Fortnite, didn't it do that too? Like, when did Fortnite finally release 1.0?
I think it's still in beta, to be honest. I got double check. Don't quote me on it. I think it's still in beta though.
I'm pretty sure it is because
did they release Fortnite?
Fortnite came out a little bit before Mixer came out.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild, man.
And then that's when like me, Nick, and Caden all got into streaming.
Oh yeah, I remember Caden used to stream with you a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude,
that's still in beta. They did release Chapter 2. I don't play the game. I don't play the game at all, so I don't really remember or know too much. But they came out with Chapter 2. They're still in beta though. They just keep releasing like seasons and stuff like that. But
how do you release a Chapter 2 and not finish Chapter 1? That's wild.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a ballsy move. Be like, no, just keep coming along. It's gonna make sense.
Don't worry. They've made the right choices though. That company's like skyrocketed in like value. I remember at one point I was looking at like their net worth 2017 when they first initially released Fortnite to after like it blew up. Like their numbers like tripled and quadrupled.
Talk about a company that makes the best moves. They literally stole the idea from PUBG right from out from under their feet. Yeah. Release it, reskin it as theirs, and then make all the money off of it and squander PUBG. Because if you remember, Fortnite was a tower defense game. It was made by the developers of Gears of War.
Yeah.
They completely shifted it over and was like, all right, that looks fun. Let's do it. That's, good on them. And you can say though, not everyone can do it. A lot of games have tried to do Battle Royale and it hasn't worked out for them. So they have done it the right way. You can't take that from them.
There was a lawsuit too between PUBG and Fortnite over the mechanics for vehicles. I don't remember how that turned out, but I think I could be wrong, but I think PUBG lost.
I think they did too. I think you're right. You know who I was surprised about? I was surprised that Cliffy B's didn't work out, man. Because remember, Cliffy B had he started his own studio called Boss Key. I think it's Boss Key Productions or something, and he was doing his own battle royale game. It was supposed to be like a cyberpunky type of one. I think it was called like Radical Heights, and I was really surprised he got his shuttered. Man. And his didn't work out, but it just goes to prove it doesn't matter how big you are. If you don't execute it right, it's not gonna flourish. So that does give more props to Epic, man, because they definitely made the right moves with Fortnite.
Remember when we went to PAX, Nick? We talked to one guy who used to work for Epic.
Oh yeah, that indie game developer. He was working on his own game at the time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember right now. He said something to us. Man, I can't remember. I had it for a second there.
Was it good or bad? I'm trying to remember now.
It was a little bit of both. He was saying something about working at Fortnite wasn't like all that great, but
yeah. Because I think I had a shirt on that said Fortnite, or I was wearing a pin or something.
He did something on the game. I can't remember what he did. He did something on the game, and he should have made more money in a sense, but it was like his bosses who got the money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Saying how he's like, I don't want to like give names because I don't want to drag anybody through the mud. You know, I still have respect for Epic Games, but
and that and the NDA he had this.
Yeah, exactly.
that and the NDA that's holding them there.
Yeah.
Well, I remember him saying that it was like him and a buddy of his, and he left the company because he I guess didn't like something or didn't see it going in a certain direction. And he left the company and his buddy stayed. And he's like, my buddy's a millionaire now. And I'm here at PAX East with this indie game. He's like, please buy the indie game. Like,
he's like, when this is over, I have to work that hot dog cart after there. You don't know how pissed I am.
Literally.
That's funny. Well, it's not funny. That's actually horrible. But
yeah, that's terrible. But
yeah, no, it stinks. But that's one thing. Like with the COVID-19, man, like we can't go to these events anymore. I remember Luke and I years ago were really excited for a PlayStation E3 event and drove to Connecticut. Yep. We bought tickets and went to Connecticut to see it in a theater. Seeing it on a laptop wasn't good enough for us.
Dude, I was just thinking about that the other day. That was so dope. Like, it was E3 2014, and remember they were doing the Sony press conference in select theaters, but they were selling out so fast. So, like, Jersey and New York sold out, but we really wanted to see it. So we're like, oh, fuck it. Let's just go to Connecticut. We went to Connecticut. Dude, I don't ever want to see another E3 press conference like not like that again. Like, remember everyone was cheering and stuff like that? It was awesome. They gave us the little badges and stuff like that, and we got little like swag tchotchkes and stuff. It was actually really cool.
It would have been better if we actually went to Cali for it because people got like PlayStations on their seats and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. My Street Fighter poster didn't feel so cool after I found that out.
You know what's funny? So you guys heard of what's the gaming channel that they used to have?
G4.
G4, yeah. So G4 would always broadcast or mention the E3 and whatnot. And I always wanted to go, but of course, us living in New York, we couldn't make it over to Cali. Especially at my age when I was like 13 or 14, I couldn't make it over to Cali, but I always wanted to go to that. That thing seems so cool.
Well, you always needed a press badge too.
Yeah, you had to know somebody, like everything. Know somebody who knows somebody.
Well, the last couple of years, if you guys remember, they finally made it open to the public.
Yeah.
But it was only a certain amount of tickets, and that was because E3 started to like actually take a beating in like sales, and also vendors stopped going. Like, remember Bethesda broke off; they did their own thing. I think EA broke off; they did their own thing. They started doing the EA State of Play type deals, and when they
Blizzard
opened it up
too,
I
think.
What'd you say?
I think Blizzard 2 broke off.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Blizzard because they started doing BlizzCon and stuff like that, and like they would just do all their announcements there. And I remember when they opened it up to the public, I was like, man, that's going to be my summer vacation one year. Like, I really want to just go to LA in June because it's usually the beginning of June and make it a vacation. And then COVID was like, no, you're not doing it. That's okay.
It's funny because Juan, I think I sent you like a poster for like a gaming music convention. I don't know if you remember. It was supposed to be like in November, and Marshmello was going to be there. Like Post Malone was going to be there. Like a few other big music names were going to be there, but it was also going to be like a gaming event where there'll be like sections that you could play certain games and whatnot. So like that link between music and video games is a real thing. I'm just picking it up now because I'm like, we were supposed to go to that talking about events and stuff. I don't know if the thing's still on, but that was I think in Boston or something.
Well, yeah, Marshmello do a live show on Fortnite, so I mean the connection is real strong.
He did one. Diplo did one.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, Diplo did one. I forgot who else. The other big EDM guy, I forgot his name.
You know, I tell you what, if everything goes back to normal, because they did say that it was going to be back next year in June. You guys should definitely go for a press badge and go out there. I think it would be awesome.
Oh, E3's going to come back?
I'd definitely do it.
Yeah, because they already have the dates for 2021. When they had to cancel, they said, all right, we canceled, but this is what dates it'll be for the convention center. if they have regular public tickets, you guys are a podcast, man. You get your press badge. That'd be dope.
If we could get this thing going, like, I think we get it going by the summer. We just got to keep promoting it. That's like the hard part, promoting it, finding content to put out.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could definitely get it going, I think getting press badges won't be as hard as we think.
No. I still think E3 could be something again. Like, everyone's talking like doomsday talk about it, how it's going to be canceled.
Yeah.
It's like if they could just find a way to do it again, man, because I don't know, there's something about being a gamer in June. It's just like, it's so exciting because those 3 days, I used to take off work, man, order pizzas, hang out with my cousins, have people come over, and we would watch all the press conferences. Like, if that were to finally go away, it kind of would be a little sad.
Yeah. So, do you have anything, Luke, right now in the works? Like, what are you working on mainly right now that you're looking forward to putting out? Or
I'm just trying to become a better person, Nick.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Can't top that.
And,
yeah, all right. I mean,
damn, 2020 is hard. I gotta relook at this. No, right now, working on a new single and music video with my band North Stone. You could find us on Twitter and Instagram under North Stone Band, all lowercase, all one. We're on Facebook too. And then, just like every other gamer right now, just super excited and anticipating the next generation. My personal profile is just Luke Ladlee on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same thing. And that's pretty much it, man. Just trying to get down, hopefully get a new song out, be playing these new consoles in the winter.
Yeah. Cheers to that, man. And that music video, where is that? Is that going to be released on YouTube, or where can we find that? I'm definitely down.
Yeah, okay. It'll be released on YouTube, and we'll probably have it. We'll pick up a site that'll premiere it probably for us. So we'll probably have all those details coming up. Hopefully, if everything doesn't shut down again, goes to plan, we should be doing that. But well,
all right. Juan, do you have any last remarks or anything?
No, I mean, I just want to thank Luke for joining us today. It's definitely been one hell of a conversation here, and got to relive some memories.
Yeah.
A lot of history between you two. Like, even hearing like the whole going to the theater to see a press conference, I'm like, oh wow, really?
Man, I'll tell you what, dude. Me and Juan used to work literally, and I'm not exaggerating, 60 hours a week together in the kitchen. Sometimes more. Yeah, wow. So it's crazy.
We definitely got stories. We could bring them back on for another podcast, and we could talk all about restaurants.
Yeah, that was a good episode. All right.
Yeah.
Luke, once again, man, we appreciate you coming out. Juan, do you have any final remarks?
No, just like we said, thanks to Luke over there, and just so everybody knows, we do have our socials up and running now. Yep. We have Twitter and Instagram at the moment. Our Twitter handle is at Last Good Podcast, and our Instagram is The Last Good Podcast. There's a little bit of difference there. Twitter didn't let us put the in.
And do we have an email now that they could give us questions, maybe, if they have any?
Yes, if you folks have any questions or comments, please email us or even DM us on Twitter. But the email is thelastgoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Right. So if you guys want any questions, any concerns, anything, shoot us an email, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, DM us. We'll answer you guys. What else, Juan? What are we on now? I know you worked hard to get us on a lot of platforms. Can you just briefly discuss what platforms we're on?
So far, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are also on Podcast Addicts, Podchaser, Listen Notes, and Deezer. But we're waiting to hear back from Pandora at the moment.
Pandora, and then we're working on Alexa?
Yes, tune in Alexa. We're waiting on also.
Tune in Alexa. Once we get that, you guys can go straight to your Alexas and go, hey, play the Last Good Podcast, and boom, it'll play the latest episode. Also, guys, don't forget we're on YouTube as well. If you guys don't have access to any of those for some reason, throw up YouTube on your phone, and you can search us, and we're on there. Like, comment, subscribe. It'll be helpful. So, guys, if you made it this far, we appreciate it. If you drop 5 stars, if you're on iTunes, or give us a follow or subscribe if you're on YouTube or Spotify, it'll greatly help out the channel. But other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. We're out.